Hello, welcome back to the Spot Me training. I failed at the first hurdle. It should be a training vlog, but it hasn't been because I had an injury like a week into starting it. But today it actually is. I want to talk about accuracy. Because most of the progress that I've made in the last few years has been due to really sweet technique changes. Wow, I didn't know I could do that. Cool. Really sweet technique changes that have made a huge difference to muscle growth. More often than not, going light and trying to figure out how to really connect with the muscle that I'm trying to work on. So it's going to be a few bits of gold today. I really want to focus on the sumo deficit deadlift, my favorite all-time glute developer, and then I'm going to focus on the leg press as well. We'll do the whole session, but they're the two exercises that I want to give particular time to. So let's start off with these Smith machine calf extensions. So something interesting that I found out not too long ago is that the most elastic connective tissue in your body is found in the Achilles tendon. So you can do these and end up working more of the tendon than you do the muscle. The way to get away with not doing that is to pause at the bottom of the rep, and you can actually see me rearranging my feet just there because my feet are slipping off the back of the step and I'm coming further and further and further down towards my toes being the thing that's flexing, and I don't want it to be my toes, otherwise all the work is going to be in my feet. I don't want it in my feet, I want it in my calves. So I like to try and keep the where my feet are on the step halfway up, around halfway, and then I really pause at the bottom to stop it being any sort of elastic bounce out from the connective tissue. I want it to be all in the calves. I often also won't come all the way up to the top because the stretch is so good at the bottom part of the muscle. It really helps make the calves, it really helps damage the calves, which is obviously going to get you a good bit more muscle growth. So that was just one set. I believe I did 3 sets of that. Next up, I want to show you how I warm up for this exercise. As you can see, I've got some pretty sweet camera skills and have managed to cut off half of my body, which is not ideal. But I want to talk you through my approach to how I've progressed in this movement. I actually haven't come up in weight in particular for a long time. What I've actually done is I've increased the size in these, I used to be using I used to just sumo deadlift on the floor. Then I came up to 10 kg plates, so they're little. Then slightly bigger, 20 kg plates, then 25 kg plates, which are the chunkiest ones. The reason why I'm building a deficit is because of this. So I'm warming up with just the bar, just because my hips are so tight, just focusing on trying to sit my ass down. You can actually see, look, I actually can't sit my ass down very deep at all there. But what I'm trying to do, and this is where the little drawings will come out, you can see me trying to get this joint to not be here. I'm trying to sink as far down as I can get, and then this would be the knee joint to meet it, right? Same there. I'm trying to come down low, and that will meet it, right? And you'll see me able to do this as I warm up more and more and more. This angle is so important as I show you the side angle, the side view, I should say. That angle is so important because what it does is it allows me to get a stretch in my glutes, right? So if I just keep warming up, I'm doing empty barbell, then I'll move on and I'll slide some 20s on. This is probably quite a big jump if you're not particularly experienced. Maybe don't take as big of a jump. But again, if you're not using 20 kg on each side, you definitely don't need a big deficit. Use a smaller weight and then the deficit is there anyway. But now you can actually see my bum is way lower down. Look, and still going, still further down. Now, look, if we draw from that position now, like I said, you can see it better in the side angle. But it actually goes much deeper round the outside now because my hips are warmed up. I'm really sat back into my heels. You can actually see my toes coming off the floor, right? This angle here, the hip angle, is the most important. We're trying to stretch my glutes out as much as physically possible, all right? Now I can come up and I keep my chest as upright as I can possibly keep it throughout the lift. Let's take a look at a different angle. If we take a look at this different angle, you can see I'm fully warm now because the old Nirvana vest has come out. Okay, let's have a little look now that I'm warm. Just touch the floor there, right. This is so key. Let's go freehand for a sec here. Straight line there. Straight line there. Very acute angle across. And this is key. My glute max, the bit of my body that I'm trying to grow, inserts around here to the bottom of my hamstring and will attach up there. If I didn't bring my bum down as low, this angle would not be stretched out properly. But it is because I've got my bum down nice and low. If I bring my bum up more so into this angle, say I flattened out a little bit here, that now doesn't stretch the glute out anywhere near as much and is way more work on my lower back, right? If I was to not be in this current angle, if I was to be in this yellow angle instead, with my bum a little bit higher and my chest looking down at the floor a little bit more, you're going to screw, well, you might not screw your back over, but you're certainly going to, and this is what I want to talk about more and more and more, you're going to miss the accuracy in your lifting. We're trying to work the target muscle. Yeah, I could probably go heavier, lift more weight if I wanted to, but I'm not going to get anywhere near of the same stimulus on the target muscle, which is the glutes. So really important that you get that right if you want to be efficient in your lifting. Next up, let's look at the leg press. So here we go. I always start by doing a set of completely empty weight. I'm just using the weight of the machine itself to pin me in. And now the angle, the emphasis on the angle is different. So now I'm not too worried about getting a tight angle here. I'm not too worried about that. That's way more open. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get as tight of a possible angle, and this is why my heels are hanging off the back. It's actually not ideal. This leg press I don't think is very good, but I'm trying to get as tight of an angle there as possible. That is going to work my glute. That is going to work my quad the most. All right. So that's what I'm trying to do now, and you'll see in a minute I'm going to get changed out of my normal trainers and I'll put my lifting shoes on because I'm trying to accentuate that heel angle. I'll have an elevated heel. Here you go. There on. So now it exaggerates that angle even more. So just one plate. I'll do like 10 reps here, really slow, really controlled, full range of motion. You can see the weight is nice and easy for me. But I'm trying to really get that knee angle. I'm trying to push my knees forwards over my toes, and I have my feet down low on the plate because I'm trying to close that knee angle. If I change this up, you can do a really nice glute focused. If instead my feet were here like that. And then my legs looked like this. Instead, this angle would be incredibly tight and it would be really hard on my glutes, and my knees would be up here, and this angle is not very tight, right? So there isn't a stretch on the quads, or as much of a stretch on the quads, but there's a huge stretch on the glutes. So you can change things, you can change how you do things in order to get you such a different result with what you're doing. Now that I've warmed up, or am warming up, I'll do that set, slide on 2 more 25s on either side. Same thing, maybe slightly less reps. I'm not trying to knacker myself out here. I'm not at my working weight yet. I'm just building up to it. And now I would do, look, I'm doing one, this is called an acquisition set. So I've now hit the weight that I would like to do a working set at. I'm going to do a couple of reps just to prepare my nervous system for, cool, this is what this weight feels like. I'm going to do a lot more reps in a minute. I just did 1 rep just to prep me, to make sure that I'm feeling good. Then I'm going to take a sip of my drink. I actually superset these with dumbbell forearm curls because, you know, whilst you're resting, can get in a little bit of extra work for those forearms. Now my first working set of leg press comes in. Now I want to talk you through what I'm doing with my back here, because I really hurt my back when I was much younger on a leg press. Because your back, whilst you're lifting, the curvature of your spine looks slightly like this, right? That's what my spine is doing inside my body whilst this lift is happening. If you don't control the weight very well, you can actually get what we would call severe butt wink, and your tailbone can curl round. That's actually really normal and not particularly problematic. Where it can be really problematic is if that position of the spine moves from this, which is normal, to this, where it curls round, but then we lose that little bit there and we actually curl in early. That's where it can be really problematic, and your lower back, it can be incredibly painful. So what I like to do is, you can see me pulling with my hands to extend my chest, and I like to use the cue an open belly button. If your belly button is closing up, you know that at the base of your spine, you're really tucking under, and you know it's an issue. If my bum comes off the seat a little bit, it's not particularly a problem. It's if I can feel my belly button closing because the bottom of my spine is fully coming under and I'm losing that really good position. It's going to be important if you want to stay safe long term, and if you want to get good at it, just go slow building up in weight. It's so easy to get right if you're slow with how you build up in your weight. Wait until you can maintain form throughout all of your sets at a decent weight, and you can move up over time. I'm at 3 plates either side. For someone who's been training as long as me in a leg press, that is not a lot of weight. But why would you be interested in a lot of weight? You should be interested in your physique or your health, because that's what you're there for. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to keep these short and sweet because I'm doing them to rehab. Well, I would do them anyway, but I'm doing these in particular. I'm doing them single leg because I tore the front of my quad playing football. It's a horrible injury, and I'm just trying to rehab it now. I'm on the back end of rehab, should be fine now, but the particular part of my quad that was damaged, this exercise works really specifically. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my weak leg, which is the one that was injured, my right leg. I'm going to do as many reps as I can with this leg. Then once, and that's to about a 2 RIR, so 2 reps away from failure. So I'm leaving a little bit in the tank. I think I did 7 or 8. Then I swap legs to my strong leg, and I'm just going to do 7 or 8. Even if I could do 9, 10, 11, 12, I'm only going to do as many as my weak leg could do, because I'm trying to give my right leg a chance to catch up in terms of progression and strength. So that's all we need to talk about for them. A really, really simple exercise. Just sit your seat back as much as you can. It's going to help bias the rectus femoris, which is the front of your quad, a little bit more. All right, last one. I superset these with my leg extensions. So these are cuffed cable raises. I think this is a really cool movement to lean in. So can you see that my feet are sort of out here? I'm leaning in because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stretch the side delt over across me. I'm trying to stretch out across me like this. The part of the body that I'm really trying to work here is the outside of my shoulder, right? I'm trying to work as much as I can this part of me. So if I want to do that, I can bias it by stretching across myself and making the toughest part of the lift that bottom part of the lift. Look here. Look how tough it is. Oh, not quite. Look how tough it is. There, yeah. So as soon as I start moving, the cable is pulling directly this way. And now my shoulder has to work hardest when it's at its most stretched position. Right now, if I move it, if I come up to this point, it's at its shortest position. The shoulder is at its shortest position. But that's not important to me. What's important to me is that it's tough in the lengthened portion, which would be here. That's why I set the machine up like that. Try to have your cable attachment set up at like a right angle away from your stretched shoulder joint. That's going to be really important. All right, that's the end of the episode. I hope that was really helpful. I'm going to keep breaking down these things and making them, trying to be as detailed as possible, because I want your training to be accurate. If you want your training to progress, if you want to move on, feel like you're getting better and see changes on your body, accuracy is going to be really important. Make sure you give this a like and a share, because I don't want to be poor. I want to be rich, famous, disgustingly famous. I want to lose my personality to fame. That's my goal with this channel. Love you, bye.